In this episode, I'm going to talk about supposed contradiction number 11 from the book, All That's Wrong with the Bible, Contradictions, Absurdities, and More. In this supposed contradiction, he's talking about who the high priest was when David was fleeing from Saul. And he mentions 1 Samuel 21, 1-6, and Mark 2, 26. And these two passages do appear to be talking about the same event, and there's at least two or three possible explanations for what's going on here. So let me start by reading the verses, and then we'll talk about the possible explanations. Okay, so in Mark 2, verse 26 says, "How he went into the house of God during the time of Abiathar the high priest, and ate the bread of the presence, which is not lawful to eat except by the priests, and he also gave some to those with him." This is talking about David and some of the soldiers that were with him when they went to get something to eat. And so this is first recorded in 1 Samuel 21, and he cites the first 6 verses, so that's what I'll read here. "Then David came to Nob to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech trembled when he met David and said to him, 'Why are you alone and no one is with you?' David said to Ahimelech the priest, 'The king has charged me with the matter and said to me, let no one know anything about the matter on which I am sending you and what I have charged you. And I have directed the young men to such and such a place. So now, what is under your hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or whatever is here.' And the priest answered David and said, 'There is no common bread in my possession, but there is holy bread, provided that the young men have kept themselves from women.' David answered the priest and said to him, 'Truly women have been kept from us these 3 days. When I set out, the vessels of the young men were holy, though it was but a common journey. How much more so today will their vessels be holy?' So the priest gave him holy bread, for there was no bread there but the bread of the presence that was taken from before Yahweh, in order to put hot bread in its place on the day when it was taken away." Okay, so one possible explanation is that in verse 26, when it's talking about Abiathar, the high priest, that he was the high priest, and that in Samuel chapter 21, when it's talking about Ahimelech, it doesn't call him the high priest, it just says the priest several times. So there's lots of priests, and it's possible that there was only one high priest at the time, and that was Abiathar and not Ahimelech. So that's one possible explanation that would resolve this. Another possibility is that there was more than one high priest, and apparently this was not a unique thing. If you look in Luke 3, verse 2, it says, "During the high priesthood of Annas and Caiaphas, the word came to John, the son of Zechariah, in the desert." And apparently, I can't remember who's who, I think Caiaphas was the father of Annas. And so I think what happened a lot of times, of course, all the priests were from the tribe of Levi, and there would be the high priest, at least some of the time, would be something that was passed from the father to the son. So when the father died, the son would take over in that position, so there wouldn't be a time when there was no high priest. So it could be that they were serving in that same capacity while one of them was very old, so or something like that. So that's another possibility, is that maybe Ahimelech and Abiathar were father and son. So that's been suggested too. So that's at least 2 different ways that could possibly resolve this apparent contradiction. So if you found that helpful, like and subscribe, and may God bless you.